Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching for more details. Shocking inside scoop. Ellis Hollins breaks silence on Tom Cunningham's exit from Hollyoaks. Hollyoaks has waved goodbye to Ellis Hollins after an incredible 21-year run on the show. The 24-year-old actor, who landed the role of Tom when he was just 3 years old, bowed out from the Channel 4 soap in Wednesday's streaming episode, September 4. Tom fled from the village with his half-sister Cindy Cunningham after they'd faced a dangerous showdown with ruthless gangster Blue Hecka Dave Williams. Off camera, it was the end of an era and the start of an exciting new one for Ellis as he left the role he's played for most of his life. Known behind the scenes as one of Hollyoaks' friendliest and most professional cast members, Ellis is now looking ahead to new opportunities away from the show. It was a bit of a whirlwind, although a lot of my scenes were spaced out in terms of the schedule. It wasn't that busy towards the end of my filming days, but I knew what was coming, so I was still anticipating my last day. It was really nice that I could see Tom had come full circle and hopefully deliver on his exit. It was a lot, but I'm finally coming down from that now. Definitely. I hadn't worked with Steve Waring, who plays Cindy, for quite a while, so if Tom has to leave, it's nice that he's doing it with the family that he's got left. Of course, I'm very glad that they didn't kill Tom off. Obviously, that leaves the door open for potential adventures for Tom in the future. I can't say that wouldn't be great. But at the same time, it's giving me an opportunity to see what the rest of life is all about. It's the biggest learning curve I've ever had to put myself through. Hollyoaks has been home for me for the longest time I can remember, so to be without it is daunting, but exciting for the same reasons. I can see what else is out there. I can do things unsolicited without having to get permission. I can get a tattoo. I can cut my hair. There's so many different opportunities I can look forward to. I think that'd be lovely. I hope that they would invite me, and I hope it would be a really massive episode. It needs a big celebration. Hollyoaks is really trying to make the best version of itself, and it's had a large climb over the past few years. I would like to think, by the 30th anniversary, we'll be in a good position to really celebrate. I think bringing back old faces is definitely something they should consider, whether that be mine or not. I think that would be the best way for them to celebrate. Yeah, I'm definitely glad that I at least had something to acknowledge my departure. It could have been more, but I think things had to happen in a certain time frame, so there's only so much they can do. I am happy with how it all happened. I'm very glad that I wasn't just acknowledged in a line of dialogue that somebody said in a few months' time, like, "Oh, do you remember Tom?" I had some ownership over my own exit, and it's not a death. I'm not leaving in a body bag so I could come back, but it's very bittersweet. Myself and Steve Waring actually had our last days on different days. I think it was about 10 days apart, because Steph went on holiday, so we finished our scenes with Steve, and it was very nice. People came down from the production, and Hannah Cheers, executive producer, read out a speech and gave out flowers, a bottle of Moat, and a Hollyoaks plaque. I'm glad that Steve had a nice send-off. For my own last day, I couldn't sleep the night before because I was stressing so much. A tiny fragment of my mind was wondering whether I had another scene that I'd forgotten about, so I might get called in again, and it wouldn't really be my last day. So as much as I was preparing to have my own speech and send off, I was just imagining that nobody would show up because it wasn't the right day. When it inevitably did end up being my final day, everyone came down to set and said goodbye. I was an emotional wreck. Seeing everyone's faces who cared enough to show up to send me off for my last scene was completely overwhelming. I'm so grateful for those moments, because they reinforce the person I've been at that place. I've tried to be a good person and professional, and I think that's paid off. I see that in the genuine connections that I've made with people. People have got time for me because I've tried to do things right. So on that day, I saw the payoff to the work that I'd put in. It wasn't my own decision. I hadn't put forward that I wanted to leave or that I was thinking about other things. I feel that I was very comfortable there, whether that's a good thing or not. I don't know if I would have jumped if I hadn't been pushed. So I have to see the positives in this. I'm entering a world that I may not have chosen for myself in the first place, but I've learned so much at Hollyoaks. The things that I've seen, in terms of performances from certain characters, and the strength of knowledge that I've learned over the years, it's priceless. I can't really be too sad about leaving and how things happened. I'm very grateful for the time I have spent there, and that's what I try to focus on. I can go forward, hold my head up, and be proud of what I've been part of. I got this job when I was 3. I have to prove to myself that I can go forward from this now and do other things. For example, when was the last time I went for a job interview or an audition? These things are the next step in life that I know I've got to face. Once I've conquered that for myself, I'll be all right. There's not much else that I really need to worry about. I try to remain quietly confident in myself. I'd like to stay in the acting world. It's a big hurdle for me now to find something else. And then from there, it will hopefully just start falling into place, and one job may follow the next. It also gives me opportunity to focus on my own life. I've played Tom for my whole life, so to not have anything to do with him anymore means that it's a very strange mentality that I'm having to come out of. I'm having to realize the full extent of who Ellis is. But that's also what I'm excited about, that I've got so much more potential to realize my capability and discover myself that bit more. Would you ever work behind the scenes? You must have a great knowledge after being on set for your whole life. It's a good question. I have thought about it. I haven't particularly looked into anything yet, but it does very much interest me. When you're around so many people who do these different jobs, you can't help but take an interest, especially when your job is integrated with theirs. It's a symbiotic relationship. Everyone has to do their job in order for it all to come together. I've got respect for that. I'd like to eventually put pen to paper, see what I can write, and maybe even see if I can direct something. Who knows? The sky's the limit with stuff like that. It'd be great to become self-reliant. They're some of my fondest memories by far. Working with Matt, Darren, and Gemma was really what made the whole Hollyoaks experience this really sentimental place. I used to go to the set, see familiar people, have fun, and do some acting. Those are the most nostalgic bits. Matt and Darren were like my brothers. Coming from an only child mentality, I know that I really valued those two. I've got a lot of love for them. I wish them well, and I do hope to see them in the future, if not work with them too. I consider myself quite fortunate to have become part of that family. The Osborns are a family of such amazing, well-mannered people that I look up to and idolize. Ashley Taylor Dawson, Jimmy McKenna, Jess Fox. They're some of the most influential people that I've ever met. As much as I love Matt and Darren, I was very young when I worked with them and I was just getting on with it. But as you start getting older and you become more receptive, these people have so much life knowledge to share with you. There weren't many mistakes I had to make growing up because I had people around me telling me the right thing, and those three were definitely some of those people. I feel privileged to have shared a set with them. Likewise, I can't wait to see them again and hopefully work with them in the future if they decide to endeavor anywhere else, or if I go back to Hollyoaks. I did really enjoy it. I'm so glad that I was around those particular people for the last 5 years. Haisha Mystery, who played Yaz, was a really great person to be around. She's bubbly, so we did bounce off each other and we worked well together. I think that we covered some really important and in-depth storylines. I'm really glad that we covered the topics that we did, and that Tom and Yaz got to be the ones that portrayed those stories. Working with the Maliks, it really did feel like I'd been brought into a family. I was treated like a new son. The Maliks did just feel like one big family, so I was very disappointed that we had to break them up. Without a doubt, that was one of the most educational parts of my life. They definitely taught me a lot living with them. I'm very glad that I found two very good friends in them both. We've also got our own circles of other friends as well who I'm very grateful for, especially right now where I've had to go through times that I've not had to before. I've had people like that who are there for me. I'm very lucky to have those people around me who do the same things that I do. We all act. We all have similar interests. It's been very refreshing to have such good friends that are also quite different from yourself because they bring you out of your comfort zone. I'm very grateful for them in that respect, but don't tell them I said that. Laughs. I definitely wouldn't write it off. I know these shows can be edited in any way, but I'd be up for it. But I'd try to be particular about what it is, especially at first. The way your own character is portrayed on reality TV can be detrimental to your future sometimes, so you have to be picky about what environment you want to be seen in. It'd be interesting to be on TV as myself, to not have to put on a persona so people can see who I am. It's definitely something that I've questioned and wondered, so who knows? We'll see what the future holds. I wouldn't be where I am today without the people who have watched me over the years. I do feel the love, and I hope to feel the love again when it's announced that I'm leaving. I feel very honored to be held in a high regard among the community of people that watch the show. I'm glad that I've been able to establish the longevity that I have, because it shows me that I've been doing something right. I'd like to think that people have enjoyed the performances I've put on for the past 20 years, and I hope you continue to enjoy the performances that I put on, wherever they may be. So thank you for all your support and the compassion that you've shown, and I hope to light up your screens very soon. If you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and share.